Davy boy, the British Bulldogs and the Powers of Pain have had their differences of opinion, but stealing my fur coat has gone too far. Where is it?
Oh, I promise you, Warlord, I ain't got it.
I don't believe you.
Hola amigos, it's Will here from Will's Custom Figures, and here we go, the big reveal, finally! My favourite version of Barbarian ever. Oh, here he is! So guys, please sit back and relax while I talk you through everything to do with this absolute WWE Hall of Fame wrestler and all the little details in between. So first things first, oh my god, how badass does this look? Any retro Hasbro WWF collector back in the 90s wanted this in their collection, including me. I'm an 80s child. However, 90s was my era of television, and that's when I first started getting into professional wrestling. So I just want to bring on, hopefully you can see the bit of comparison there. Here is the British Bulldog, who did get his very own action figure. And as you can see, I have used that body to create the Barbarian. It's the similar height. It's the head, actually. The head of Barbarian is a little bit taller. Of course, he's wearing his hat and he's got his massive horns on there, which take him to probably about 5.5 to 6 inches tall. However, thank you, British Bulldog. You've been very helpful and definitely helped me create my mind's eye and perfect version of Barbarian. Now, I do want to bring in somebody else here. This is my previous Barbarian. Of course, the Powers of Pain Barbarian. And for anybody that doesn't know, Barbarian, man, I've said that too many times in the last minute. He had many different characters, forms. He went to WCW, was in the Faces of Fear. However, this new version that I've created on the left was the version, I believe, where he teamed with Bobby the Brain Heenan as his manager and went on an absolutely brilliant singles run. Now, slightly before my time, I like to think of myself as a bit of a wrestling historian. The Attitude Era was what I really grew up on, I'm not going to lie, and then into the Ruthless Aggression Era. However, you can never have too many Barbarians in your collection, and learning about and sort of thinking about what professional wrestling means to me, you cannot not acknowledge how badass the Barbarian and the Powers of Pain team were. So here they are. Here is Warlord. Let me just put that arm down. There we go. That's better. Here is Warlord. Here's Barbarian. And here is the other Powers of Pain version of Barbarian, all together as a bit of a threesome. As you can see, my God, this is a team to be scared of. This Warlord, if you've not seen it, and this Powers of Pain Barbarian, there is a full review. There's shorts, there's everything else you could possibly need to get into all the details. And if you do want a set of these in your collection, please feel free to reach out. These have all been commissioned and custom made. And to be honest, guys, they all started as an idea. So a really good friend of mine, Jag, we used to actually wrestle together. He trained me for many, many years at Wrestle Leicester or Brookside School of Wrestling, one of the head trainers there, and really did a great job of mentoring me, looking after me and helping me in my formative teenage years. He wanted his perfect mind's eye version of Barbarian and of Warlord, two of his favourite wrestlers, in his collection. So thank you all these years later for him commissioning these with me. Now, as mentioned, I started with the British Bulldog base, and it's a really good base. It's got a six-pack, it's got abs, it's got muscles. Look at the tone, the definition in those arms. Absolutely perfect base to use. I'm not a huge fan of how the hands sit. They do look a little bit strange, like he's going to press someone. At the same time, I think fists would look probably just as cool, similar to how I did it with this Warlord figure. Now, all of these figures, same as that Warlord. Here is another Warlord that I've actually created. There's a review of him. Thanks again to Jag. Comes with his staff and everything here. And they all start out as this kind of thing, an absolutely battered old figure in the fodder drawer, or I believe this one, this was from eBay, but I think this one might have been a car boot sale. What I do is I start off and I basically strip back as much as I can. So as you can see with this Barbarian figure, I had to remove the British Bulldog head. That's the main thing, really. But some of the figures, you have to do a lot more. So I also had to Dremel down the front of the boots because Barbarian doesn't have your traditional wrestling boots. And one thing to note, look how battered these fingers are on this figure, all snapped off and absolutely in seen better days. It's in bad shape. So just going to pull him up to the camera a little bit for you so you can see a little bit more detail. There we go. Let's focus that. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay, so what I did was I used Polymer Super Sculpey clay, and I go all around scoring all these nice little lines on here. The knee pads are the actual knee pads of British Bulldog, but if I just bring Bulldog in, you will see there are Union Jack actual engravings on there. Same as with his butt as well. Oh, and same as with the wristbands. So what I've had to do is apply a lot of clay over the top of those knee pads and smooth it out. And as you can see, there is no Union Jack on there now. Now, these pants, same thing, small layer of clay, scoring it all over. This belt was very time consuming. It does actually go all the way around the back, as you can see, and definitely is not an easy thing to create. It's got lots of different colours and browns, beastie browns, leather browns, ochre greys, but you can get all these colours at Vallejo. All the Vallejo paints are absolutely brilliant, including the skin tone. So I mix Citadel Kieslav Flesh together with leather brown, and for me this is absolutely spot on skin colour. Now let's do a close-up on the face. Come on, Barbarian, let's see a beautiful smile there. Absolutely not. So yeah, as you can see with this face, there's been a lot of time and effort and detail gone into this. The head doesn't move. Thank you to my good friend Nick for a 3D print of the head. However, that didn't include the correct hair, didn't include the helmet, the hat, didn't include these awesome looking, I think they're like deer from massive, God, I can't spell my words out. What is the word? Massive horns from a deer. Also didn't include all these skeletons and these brass circular discs on the side. So what I've done is I've actually rolled out a lot of clay. He's got, of course, these bones on here, and he's got these bear paws that fall over the shoulders, down his traps, over his pecs. And as mentioned, another skull here on the belt and two on the shoulders. So there's an awful lot of clay and customization here. The way that I would always say if you're going to be making a figure like this, or if you want me to sort of start, is think about what types of mediums or clay that you need to use. So I've used Super Sculpey clay for these awesome looking bear paws, and they go all the way around the shoulders and down the other side. However, if you're just going to use Polymer Super Sculpey clay, it's likely to crack because it may move. And what I've decided to do is I've actually used here Procreate putty for each individual nail on the bear claws. Also for these, so as you can see, Polymer Super Sculpey gives a really, really nice finish. It's actually almost plastic-like, but these are actually made of the Procreate putty and can move. So if I needed to post them, or if it fell over or anything else, it's not going to be too fragile and snap. It's also, guys, a really good way if you do have a figure like this Warlord and you want to repair the fingers, or maybe use it for a custom that has fingers. It's a really, really good way of getting the digits and the more fragile things back on there without actually risking it cracking at a later stage. Now, let's just move him back and then do a little bit of an explanation as to how I created the awesome looking gown that he's wearing, the cape on the back of his shoulders, and of course I wanted it to look very animal-like. Here we go, Barbarian set back up. So hopefully you like some of the details that I've done with the horns, with the bones coming off his outfit. One thing just to note is that there's about 3 or 4 different sets of cooking him in the oven. So I don't just do it all on a first go. It's very time consuming. And when you're working with raw clay, you know, when I've covered over these knee pads and I've done the tops of the boots, and when I've done the bear paws, and when I've done this awesome looking neck piece and this belt, it's going to be too much for me to then continue to custom maybe the head and adding everything else on there. So I'll do it in stages. I think with this one, I did the head and attaching that on with clay. You can see it's a nice seamless join there around the neck. And then after doing that, I've then done all the rest of the outfit apart from the helmet. And afterwards, I've then went and done his helmet. And I'm really happy with how that looks. And then I've applied on the Procreate putty for these bone pieces and the two horns at the top, as well as this piece here. So the arms can still move up and down. He still has articulation. However, it doesn't scratch because I'm using a type of clay that if you move it up too far, it's not going to snap. It does actually move, as you've seen with these bone pieces here, giving me the freedom to be a little bit more creative and not worry too much about him getting damaged. Now, onto this awesome looking cape. I mentioned this in my last video with this Barbarian that I've used the same stuff for, as you can see on the shoulders. All I've done is I found an old coat. It's actually a jacket of mine, and it had a winter nice bit of fur around the neck. So I've removed that, didn't like it. I was getting too hot, especially during summer, and I've then cut it to size and put it on here. So as you can see, the whole figure front to back. Ooh, shouldn't be looking under that. But the whole thing has been completely done correctly, no corners cut. And I've heard a lot of people saying Zombie Sailor, Chella Toys, and all these other people, of course, they're mass producing figures and some of the absolute most fantastic action figure creators on the planet. However, as a one-off, I could spend hours and hours and hours just on doing, for example, these little bones. All I did for that is roll one really long piece of very, very thin Procreate putty, just that thickness, and then cut it into little sausages. And then I rolled about 30 of these little balls and just started sticking them on the ends. And I've actually used a couple of them because I did too many in my Marvel displays. And it's just one of those things, trial and error, a lot of super glue and a lot of patience. Guys, hopefully you've liked this video. It is an absolute passion project for me to work on some of the WWE Hall of Fame wrestlers. Well, I know that Powers of Pain controversially aren't in the Hall of Fame, are they? But I really do think they should be. Whether or not it's the Faces of Fear in WCW, whether or not it's the singles run, whether or not it's looking at all of the stuff that they did after leaving the WWF on the independent circuit, man, Barbarian is long overdue. His very own retro Hasbro wrestling figure. Mattel, come on, what you doing? I'm sick of seeing the same characters produced over and over again. Let's get some of these absolute legends in there. I know Jax did a lot more sort of obscure and different characters, but it would be great to see someone like Barbarian done in this form with all of the modern day tech that they have. Other than that, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this video. I've absolutely loved working on this Barbarian. And just to let you in on a bit of a secret, something I'm extremely excited about. Of course, I've finished the Powers of Pain version of the Warlord and Barbarian. But what Jag has asked me, my good friend Jag has asked me to work on next, oh, that's exciting. So it is a Barbarian version of Warlord and a Warlord version of Barbarian. So Barbarian with this cool badass mask with a staff, maybe with a B on the end of it, with all the chains and everything coming down his outfit. And then a Warlord with all of this like bear skins and big long cape and bones all over him. So that is going to be just that. That's like my idea of custom creativity at its best. I cannot wait to work on it. I can't wait to show you guys what I've done. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below if you like this video. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching for nearly 14 minutes now. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. So from myself, from British Bulldog, from Warlord, and of course from the one and only Barbarian, I will catch you guys on the next one. Barbarian smash!